Vygotsky's social cultural development theory. This is Lev Vygotsky. He's a psychologist from a small village outside Minsk in Russia. It wasn't until the age of 28 that Vygotsky found an interest for psychology. Vygotsky believed that thinking and learning were a great social activity for the human species. Although his theory is now being used in today's society, it wasn't recognized in North America until well after his death at the age of 38. Vygotsky's social cultural theory is developed based on 4 principles. Children construct knowledge. Development cannot be separated from its social context or culture. Learning usually leads development. And finally, language plays a central role in early human development. Let's start with language development. Speech influences cognition. It is the learning of language that brings about social processes, and language makes thoughts possible. There are 3 types of speech. Social speech, which allows a child to control their behaviors towards others and express simple thoughts such as crying, laughter, and shouting. Now we have egocentric speech, which is most commonly seen in 3 to 7-year-olds, and they most often talk to themselves, regardless of whether or not someone is listening to them. They think out loud to guide their own behavior and speak about what they are going to do as they do it. Finally, we have inner speech. Inner speech is the final stage of speech development. It is used by older children and adults. It is an inner soundless speech which allows us to direct our thinking and behavior. Children who have now reached their final stage of speech development can now count in their heads, use logical memory, and inner signs. Vygotsky also believed that cognitive processes and skills are socially transmitted from knowledgeable members of society to children. Cooperative dialogue between children and adults were necessary to acquire ways of thinking and behaving. As adults and more expert peers help children master activities that are meaningful to that culture, the communication becomes part of children's thinking. When children internalize the basic features of these dialogues or conversations, they are able to use the language themselves to guide their activities and acquire skills on their own. The specific cognitive abilities vary considerably from culture to culture and are not bound by universal sequence or stage of cognitive development. Vygotsky emphasized that the development of higher cognitive abilities such as memory, attention, and reasoning involves learning to use the inventions of society such as language, mathematical systems, and memory devices. Another important part of Vygotsky's theory is the zone of proximal development. Vygotsky recognized that there are some tasks that are too difficult for children to master on their own. However, they could be mastered with the guidance and assistance of an adult or a more skilled child. He described the distance between the two as the zone of proximal development, which he separated into 3 levels. Level 1 is the lower limit in which a child can problem solve independently. Level 2 is the upper limit in which a child can master additional skills with the assistance of a more skilled adult or child. This level is also known as scaffolding, which gives assistance to a child one step at a time, in which the child can master the skill from their current ability. And finally, the third level is when the child has mastered the task and is able to complete it independently.